CJ Morgan.
It is a beautiful morning. It's a little humid outside, actually, down here.
Not here.
No.
It's humid, but not beautiful. It's raining. It's kind of dreary.
Mm.
Truth be told, I took a short nap between dropping the kids off and coming in here for some show prep. And the little alarm that comes on the iPhone here
Right.
is all I could do to adhere to it and make sure I came in for today's episode. But here I
Right.
am, ready to go. We got a lot to talk about today.
You do.
Big weekend, though, for me. We're going
Mm.
up today to see my son Josh play tennis in high school.
Oh, awesome.
Playing a big school up in Raleigh, Cardinal Gibbons. It's a big Catholic school, telling you,
Yeah.
huge. So excited about that. And then tomorrow we play soccer against some Raleigh elite team. And then tomorrow evening we have Duke basketball hosting Virginia. So big sports weekend for me. And we'll see what happens with the weather. Speaking of that, let's roll the intro and get started with today's Talking Weather.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, we're back.
We are back.
Happy Friday to you, CJ. The last Friday that we will see in February of 2026.
The longest short month of the year.
Exactly. And boy, what a February it has been.
Yeah.
Big time snow, big time cold.
Yep.
And yesterday, as we're going to discuss, hail. Hail is back. We had some big hail in Georgia. Couldn't believe my eyes. But it was true. We'll show you that and more. Good to see everybody today on the Talking Weather. In fact, let's throw the old caption up there. It is Friday now, the 27th day of February, 2026. Hope everybody's ready for a good weekend. As I said in the cold open, sports, and more sports for the Sudduth this weekend. And Sunday, going to be 72 here in Wilmington.
Beautiful.
Room temperature. So that's good. And I'm going to start working on some stuff on the Tacoma little by little, getting things ready for severe weather season. Got the extra Starlink that came in recently. Got some roof mounts I got to start putting together. Thinking of some ideas for hail mitigation because I got rid of half of that hail guard.
Right.
You remember that behemoth, and
our nice
it was killing our gas mileage.
Our aileron.
Yeah, so we've switching around, and finally I'll be able to get out and start working on things on Sunday.
Right.
The weather is going to turn very lovely, very warm.
It is. It's going to turn to spring very quickly, and we already see that. I think that's one of our topics for today.
It is. So let's jump into that, and with that, we'll take a look at our topics for today as I get set here to share the old screen for you. All right, so bullet points. Record heat. It was toasty in southern Texas yesterday, and hail is back. I'll show you some videos of that. Again, I couldn't believe. I was like, "What? Already?" And it wasn't the little stuff either. It's like, wow. And that brings us into severe weather season. It is going to kick off early this year, already has. And as we get into early March, a little teaser for you guys. I think it's day 6 now. Already has a 15% for day 6 already. Like what?
Already. It's that
and
time
with
of year.
That, we could be looking at, and this is not hyperbolic. We try not to do that here on the hurricane track, but it could be a big tornado year.
It could.
And we're going to look into that and get people ready and aware. And then once we get to April and May and June, we're going to go cover that.
Heck yeah,
we'll talk about that more next week. So, all right. National Weather Service did my job for me yesterday. Thank you.
Love it.
Hey, it allowed me to get that extra 3 minutes of napping in. National high and low temperature map here from the NOAA folks. And this was put together overnight last night, and I'm assuming that a person does this, that it's not automated, but whatever. 104, that is really getting it down there in South Texas. Yeah, 104, a couple miles northeast of La Puerta. La Puerta means the door, right?
Yes.
So at the risk of being, oh boy, Mark, maybe they opened the door to hell down there and it let some hot air in. Yes, because 104 at the end of February.
Wow.
Yikes. And I can only imagine how hot it was on into Mexico.
Yeah.
If it's 104.
Monterey, I'm sure they were cooking yesterday.
So, and then on the opposite end up there, and again, we talked about this yesterday, it's always the border states that are doing these extremes right now. And it's going to be interesting to see as we progress through. We're getting ready to start our 4th month of talking weather. Yay us. And thank you all for hanging in there with us to make it more appealing for me to do this on a daily basis. I love doing it. And we're going to start our 4th month. And then that we will be watching to see, do these national high and lows start to shift around elsewhere rather than our border states? I don't know. We'll see. Interesting. Anyway, -12 way up in Clarksburg, Michigan, up on the UP there. Once again, so we've shown La Puerta before. We'll do it again. It's way down here along the Rio Grande and close to Mexico. And you can see that on the map that the Weather Service put out there. But just to give you some perspective, and again, we'll jump in here and grab the Google Street View person. By the way, my mouse is acting funky today. It's a little glitchy, so be prepared. Weird things might happen, but we'll see. Yeah, like right there, it's jumpy.
Shenanigans.
So let's just drop our Google Street View person in here, over here. And there you go. That looks like it'd be about 104 degrees, doesn't it?
Oh, that's horrible.
I like it though. That dry heat. It's just, it's not, and nothing against our friends over in India, but over there it'll be 104 with a dew point of 80.
Yeah.
And you see elsewhere in like the Middle East, along parts of like the UAE and elsewhere, they'll have
the Gulf, the Persian Gulf.
Iran and Iraq will be like 140 with a dew point of 65 or 70 or whatever. It's just stupid.
Yeah, my dad was stationed in Kuwait before he went in country when he did his tour in Iraq in 2009. He said in August, he was in August in Kuwait in Kuwait City. It was 120 degrees with an 80-degree dew point.
Nope. Pass. I'll take La Puerta anytime. So it said 2 miles northeast of La Puerta. We'll just guess that's about right here, out in some field.
Yeah.
But how they do this, by the way, and that's why you see these where it'll say 2 miles northeast of La Puerta, Texas. There's obviously some kind of an official reporting station out there.
Right.
That might be good for next week's or maybe 2 weeks out, because I got an idea for next week's Tech Tuesday. I'm going to keep it under wraps until I confirm that it'll happen.
Right.
But how exactly do they get these data points? We've seen Peter Sinks, Utah up here, and there's clearly nothing out there except trails. And so where's the ASOS station?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to mark that down. It'll be a Tech Tuesday coming up. All right, so that's La Puerta, And speaking of that, and CJ, this is great. I had to show this because it's related. Unreal. Unfortunately, learned a hard lesson today. Do not forget about the unopened bottle of chocolate milk in your truck before you park it for the day in the West Texas sun. It will explode. It will go everywhere. It will reek even after you've cleaned every inch of your vehicle. Exactly. Snakes. All right. Storms and sunsets. I guess that's the 918 going to the 432. Is that what that means?
Yeah. I wonder where 918 is, because 432, isn't that like Midland, Odessa?
Well, let's look it up. We have the entire world at our fingertips. So Mark will jump on the Google real quick. All right. So first of all, 918 area code is
Tulsa.
North Carolina. Oh, that's 919. I goofed it. Damn it.
918 is Tulsa, like northeast Oklahoma.
CJ.
No, he's not going that far.
Yeah. So northeastern Oklahoma, and then 432. You're suspecting that that's over in Midland area.
Yeah, like
the answer is, it's Southwest Texas near the Permian Basin. Okay. And even though it's 104 over in La Puerta area, obviously pretty toasty over here at this gentleman's area. Let's check out his profile pic. Nice little twister back there. He looks kind of happy. Mm-hmm. As long as they're out in an open field and just chasing around the rattlesnakes, you can be as happy as you want. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. It's coming. Tornado season.
It's coming, y'all.
Watch out for the exploding chocolate milk.
Ugh.
All right. Hey, up here, this is a good segue here. Wait for it, folks. Frozen chocolate milk. So there you go. Chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
Because it was, I already forgot, minus 12. That'll do it. That'll freeze your chocolate milk and make it chocolate ice cream in Clarksburg, Michigan. Now, I took the bait, so to speak, because I like that right there. Bob's Bear Bait. Mm-hmm. I have to see what that's all about. So we're going to drop our Google Street View person right there next to Bob's Bear Bait. And I got to see what this is. No, it doesn't. Oh, look, it's that guy again.
Yeah.
We've seen this dude before. Wow. Mm-hmm. He's been everywhere. Or she. Mm-hmm. Where is Bob's Bear Bait? I need to know more about that. So let's click on the icon. bobsbearbait.com up in Champion, Michigan. It's a bait shop. But are you really baiting bears? I just
don't know.
All right, so let's click on the website. All right. And there you go. Bear bait for sale. It is.
Yeah. Bear hunting.
This is why I do the segment, or at least part of it, because
it's like a chain.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. What the hell is happening?
Interesting.
I did not know that. And they're all closed for the season. Well, the Bears appreciate that, I assure you. How about that? I didn't know. Did you know that there was, I know people go bear hunting. I'm not that dense.
Yeah, you can bait any animal that you're trying to hunt.
Yeah, I've just seen some
depends on the state where you
running
live,
from bears
or not.
They run from the bears. It's like in The Revenant with our friend Leonardo DiCaprio. He battled a bear and kind of lost. Anyway, did you ever see that movie? That's a good movie. I got to tie you down and make you watch that one. That's a good one.
I just can't believe that that's U.S. Highway 41. It's like odd.
And why does that go through Pennsylvania at some point?
No, it's literally right here. I lived off of US 41 here in Sarah. Yeah, it's our main highway along the west coast here.
Right, that's the Tamiami Trail, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. And it's like it's weird seeing that up there,
No. Look at that. So let's follow it a little bit here. You got me intrigued. And yeah, you come south. What in the world, man? I didn't know that. I guess I should have, but it kind of turns into 35 for a bit. But that is the same 41 that's the Tamiami Trail. I'll be darned. Oh, then it picks up again over here in Powers. I see.
Oh, wow. It must go through like Chicago and Green Bay. Yep,
there's Green Bay.
Yeah.
US Highway 41. Well, it's just weird because it goes latitudinally instead of longitudinally once we get up into Michigan.
Yeah, it's odd.
Very odd. Well, good pickup there, CJ.
Yeah, I saw the shield. I was like, what the?
Right. Bob's Bear Bait. You learn something
US
every day on
41 in
talking weather.
Clarksburg, Michigan.
And today is no exception. All right. So let's see who all we have on today's chit chat on the YouTubes. US 41, Brandon says, even extends into Chicago. Very good.
That's what I thought.
It was way over 100 nearly every day during the drought in 2023. Good point. The grass and weeds were bleached white.
I believe that.
Somehow that just does not sound fair to use scent and lures to hunt animals. Yes, but to be fair,
not in there's several states that don't even allow it. So
right. But
depends
before
on the state.
The advent of all of that, believe me, the animals hunted the people.
Yeah.
And we just got a little smarter and a little more technologically advanced. But I'm with you. Just don't hunt them into the brink of extinction.
Exactly.
U.S. Highway 90 was the interstate before I-10 was built.
Yep.
41 and 441 the same before Interstate 95. See, we learn and we keep learning. I love it. All right, let's get back to what we have to talk about for today. And with that, jump back over to Mr. Screen Share. And we are back. So, as I said, we'll leave Bob's bear bait out of it. Always learn something, and that's probably AI generated, I would venture to guess. Assume. But there's a purpose here. So there's the Waffle House Index for hurricane planning, and that's literally a real thing. FEMA talks about it. I saw this, and I was like, I got to show it. Waffle House announced plans to bring floating restaurant locations to lakes across the southeastern U.S., serving boaters, anglers, and waterfront communities. I just think of that show on Netflix, Ozark, and somehow the Bird family is involved with this. And if you know Ozark, you're laughing right now, I hope. Marty Bird getting into the Waffle House there after the opium drug trade on the Lake of the Ozarks. But no, this is for real, evidently. The concept will feature the classic menu and 24/7 service on floating platforms accessible by boat, with initial sites planned in Tennessee, so James Pettis can go check them out. Alabama will send Span out to help us there. In Georgia, we know some people. In Florida, CJ, maybe they'll put a Waffle House on Lake Okeechobee.
Interesting.
In the Carolinas, I guess Lake Waccamaw. We got a pretty big lake. We got Carr Lake. Anyway, Billy Joe Armstrong, a long-time Lake Eufaula, Alabama resident, said he's thrilled about the addition of a Waffle House on his home lake, noting he's tired of grabbing breakfast from Indian gas stations and having his stomach torn up all day while trying to fish. All right. So I guess we shall see. And it's going to be interesting because if you put these out on the lakes, they really better know their lake weather. And I'm serious. That could be a problem. Are they going to just be floating around? Are they going to be somehow anchored?
My guess is that this is satire, just looking at it. But it's funny. I'm here for it.
Well, you know what we can do? Here we go.
There's always one. Oh, God, I don't even want to know.
I have to upgrade to premium?
No.
I don't want to upgrade to premium to find out the answer. We don't want to waste too much time on this. I just thought it was interesting.
It's funny.
It's got to be satire. I guess you're right.
It's got to be, yeah. That's funny, though. That is very funny.
And really, Grok, I can't ask you a simple question without upgrading. Come on, Elon. You're already the richest man. Help a brother out. All right, moving on along. So one of our bullet points, hail is back, baby.
Hail is back.
And, oh, was it ever. So this is a shot. Alex Forbes. I know Alex. I have worked with Alex back at Mississippi State. That's hail, not snow this evening in Dawsonville near Burt's Pumpkin Farm. Everybody knows Burt's Pumpkin Farm, right? Very small, intense storm tracked across parts of Pickens, Gilmer, and Dawson counties between 7 and 8:30 last night. If you saw anything, if you see something, say something. Send pictures below. But there it was. This is from Rachel Woodall, and that is hailstones covering the ground. Here's another view of it from Andrew Brady.
Oh,
crazy looking. Look at that. Looks like a starfish fell right out of the sky.
Yeah, wow. Yeesh. That is not small either.
Right. in very odd shape. Got to send that to Ian Giamanco, the IBHS guru for hail. Another weird one. Ooh. Look at this. Oh, he tagged Matthew. There you go.
I knew somebody would.
It's on now. Badass. That's right. There's something about the hail. I'm telling you what.
Like the sky just chucked a Chinese throwing star into the ground.
Ooh, that's a good. I like that, CJ. That's pretty good. Oh. And you got to watch out because they're not all round and smooth and whatever. You get these things falling. Look at that. We'll increase the
like those tendrils on it. That's nuts.
Right. Weird how that happens. Finally, some video. This is Talking Rock, Georgia, and I really like that name because the rocks were talking. In this case, the rocks from the sky.
Wow. There's that noise.
February, CJ. February. Yeah.
It's just so weird that there's that irregular shape. I wonder what's causing that.
Yep.
Just weird.
Yep. And then, of course, all the, hey, we hope you're well. Can we use this for free? Thank you. Those always happen. But yeah, man, the hail, very interesting setup already. And this is interesting, too, because it wasn't in Texas or Oklahoma. This was in Georgia.
North Georgia, it looks like.
Yep. So, wow. And speaking of all that, related,
wow.
Greg Diamond, our friend up at Fox Weather, a brief unwarned tornado appears to have occurred, and he corrected himself, just northeast of Birmingham yesterday.
Yeah, so I did see some video of this.
Yes, I was going to ask you, CJ, what do you know about it?
So I saw some video of this. It looks like, so Span had posted a video that looks like, you know, what this tornado was. I didn't see the radar imagery. And from looking at it, I couldn't really discern any, you know, mesocyclone. So I was like, okay, because he called it a gustnado.
Right.
That looks mesocyclonic.
It does. Yeah. Even this radar depiction from Fox, it does have that hook echo look to it.
Yeah. And it's very interesting to me because, you know, NWS Birmingham is great. They're a great office, but sometimes these do.
Oh, there it is.
To sneak through.
Apparently that's it.
Yeah, that's what and I mean that's definitely a tornado.
Right.
I don't know if I'd call that a gustnado, I can't really tell.
Clearly a condensated funnel or
it had an actual condensation
down to the ground.
But I can't see any, you know, either way it was very weak, thankfully, nothing major. Right. But yeah, I mean it just goes to show sometimes these things literally come out of nowhere.
Right. I mean, as good as we are with our technology, even in 2026, sometimes things will slip through, but usually those are going to be your smaller ones, but they can still cause local damage and issues as reported here. Numerous reports of damage along Highway 11 near Roosevelt Boulevard, etc. Video confirmation of a tornado from social media. So there you go. Interesting stuff.
Yep.
All right. So what about today? Again, the old national weather map here. We'll pull up the telestrator to highlight a few things, and I guess we can use red today. That should work fine. Finally, no winter storm shenanigans of any kind anywhere up here in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And they are grateful for that. A little bit of some action right in here. I can't remember just off the top of my head what that looks like. Freezing fog in parts of southern Pennsylvania, and that's exactly what it is. Fog stinks. I mean, figuratively. Freezing fog is even worse.
Yep.
Useless form of weather phenomenon. This is regular. See, my mouse is being goofy.
Yep.
This is regular fog. Looks like some fog along the marine areas of your neck of the woods, right?
We had some sea fog this morning.
Yeah, my mouse is being. I wonder why it's doing that. Let me unplug the little receiver. Maybe. Some sea fogs. Yeah, let's just check it out. What the visibilities might be. Dense fog advisory until 4 p.m. Dang, so that's all day.
Yeah, especially on the coastal waters.
Yeah. Less than 1 nautical mile will be as low as a quarter mile.
Yep.
Where Tampa Bay waters, coastal waters from Tarpon Springs down to the Suwannee River out to 20 nautical miles. You got that warm Gulf water.
Yep.
And the cool air, relatively speaking, high dew points, etc. And Or maybe, you know what, this could be the other way around because the shelf waters could be a little bit colder than normal. Let's just check real quick, shall we? That's exactly what it is, CJ.
Yep.
And we'll use this green color. Look here how cold the shelf waters are relative to average.
Yep.
And the warm air that's got moisture in it coming over that cold water is helping to condense it out into fog.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we've had some sea fog this morning. That's already burned off from what I can tell. But there is almost like a marine layer.
I just got a note from our tennis coach. I wanted to make sure that they had to look at it because it is a little rainy around here. I'll show you that in a minute. Kind of worried that Raleigh would get some rain and the tennis match for Josh would get canceled. But he said, it's our coach, that the tennis store is open. So it has nothing to do with that. So that's good. Anyway, yes, so very cold shelf waters currently. And that's leading to this setup for the sea fog. And as CJ mentioned there, and we took a look at it in the Weather Service info, that can be problematic, especially with the larger vessels that come in and out of Tampa. So, and it's not, I mean, hell, CJ, you can just go right down to the coast and see it yourself.
Yeah, but one of the things that I'm glad to see today is what's going on offshore. We got some showers and thunderstorms lined up there in the Gulf that should actually make their way onshore this afternoon into this evening. So finally a little bit of rain.
Yep, and we don't see a lot of smoke on the satellite animation, which is good.
You can see it towards the southern end of the peninsula for sure.
Right,
but
right.
Nope, nothing. Thankfully, the that fire that's going on down there, I-75 Alligator Alley, kind of acted as a fire break, keeping it south of the interstate, which is what we want.
That's what I thought. I mentioned that the other day when Dylan posted it, and it looks like that kind of worked out, that wide corridor.
Yep, it did.
So the rest of the country, not too bad overall in terms of big time weather. We do have a few red flag warnings that you see these pinks, and that is indicative of increased fire danger. But what's going to be happening here in the coming days as we get into March, we're going to really light up this area right through here. We'll talk about that soon. And severe weather is going to be a problem in the nation's midsection, probably part of the deep south. And as we get into the third month of the year, severe weather season begins in earnest.
Yes,
and that's going to be a big primary focus, more and more of where our attention will head in the coming days and weeks. And so there you go. Got a nice little graphic for you. This is today's YouTube thumbnail. Just simple, severe weather. And it's coming. And you know what we talked about yesterday with the new changes that James Pettis did that terrific write-up. So this is Evan Bentley, works as the WCM, the Warning Coordination Meteorologist at the Storm Prediction Center.
Wow.
And I really liked this. If you have not attended a training session about the upcoming SPC conditional intensity outlook changes, if you're a broadcaster or emergency manager, and you'd like to attend one of these, please send me an email or DM me, as they say on social media. My DMs are open. And I can be sure you get an invite to our final training session next week.
Right.
And this is important because we rely, all of us in the public, on broadcast. And that includes the internet broadcast folks. Now you think Ryan Hall and Max Velocity and us and others. And then the spillover from legacy media, Fox Weather, and that other company in Atlanta. But yeah, and emergency management too. And they have to all be up on this.
Yep.
And it's good to see the outreach from SPC to try to get everybody on the same page.
Exactly.
Lots of feedback. You love to see it.
Yes, you do.
Good stuff there. All right. So CJ, it's coming. Let's look at day one. Southeast United States, general convective activity overall, tornado, wind, and hail threats, small enough to not even get triggered, so to speak. How about tomorrow? Out west, California, Nevada, Oregon, again, all just general convective activity, not enough to even warrant sort of tripping the algorithm or whatever you want to call it for tornado, wind, and hail. But as we move forward beyond the weekend and into the 4 to 8 day outlook, let's just jump over here to day 6. There we go.
Yep.
So CJ, take it away.
Yeah, so on day 6, we're going to start lighting up the southern plains, it looks like already. There's a decent trough that's going to move into the southern plains, and there's going to be a ton of that rich moisture, and that has to do with all of those warm anomalies in the Western Gulf. That moisture is going to be pulled up now that, we're getting more sunlight. The winds are going to start shifting as the jet streams start moving to the north, and we could have some problems. We could have some actual severe weather the end of the first week of March. Who knew that,
Moderate deep layer shear is evident on the model forecast all the way this early.
That's this early. Else. So that's a pretty stark, a pretty stark signal there that we could be looking at. Now, what they're talking about in their discussion is that there's not really mention of a tornado, probability there. It's mainly wind and hail. But, that can't be rolled out either. So
and
as
we're
we
still
get closer,
6 days out.
This is far. This is far in advance, and it's I think it's going to be kind of a prelude to what's coming. A lot of the severe weather experts that are out there, and I don't want to dig too far into this because I know we're going to talk about it here in a minute, but this is what we would expect for a year, like what we think is going to happen.
Yeah. And the onset of this El Nino, which looks like it's going to be substantial, severe weather in the southern plains. This looks like it could be a very, very prolific year for that.
Yeah.
And again, our attention is going to focus a lot more on it as we go forward. Really trying to expand not only your knowledge base on it, but CJ and I will learn a lot as we go. This is a shared sort of community of how we learn and do things. And I don't know everything, right? And CJ is a lot more aware of severe weather parameters than I am. I'm more the hurricane guy, obviously. And so we'll all put our collective brains together and use the internet and these social media geniuses that we have come to rely on. You ignore all the dingbats and the jackwagons. You mute them. You don't follow them. You just block it out.
Exactly. And we've got
everything else will let it through.
Right. And we got some very knowledgeable people here, that work with us, like Matt Harding out there in Wichita, Kansas, Greg Nordstrom in Southern Mississippi. He's a guru and a forecasting genius. Matt is great and very knowledgeable about South Plains severe weather. He's got the gut, I say, when it comes to that kind of stuff. Lots of experience collectively within our back end team here with Hurricane Track, and it's going to be a very interesting severe weather season, and I'll wait until we get further along. But the long short of it is, guys, if you live in southern Oklahoma, the DFW Metroplex, next week you might want to keep an eye out. You could be dealing with some severe weather.
Yeah, and it's also going to spill over into the precip part of this, and this is important. The elevated risk of heavy precipitation and flooding across the south central and east central U.S. into early March. That's coming. This is their infographic and their key messages for it. And it's interesting. It starts to show up here where that severe weather threat begins to manifest itself. On the one side, it's good. We all know we need the rainfall, and with the growing season about to commence, it's a welcome sight. But with that could come the possibility of too much precip, and of course the threat of severe weather. So, you got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good sometimes. But this is the content. That's what we'll be talking about as we go forward into spring, and then that'll lead us. Once we get to March, of course, we're 90 days away from hurricane season, and all of that will be here before we know it. So, with all that being said, let's jump on the GFS here from the 6Z run. So, CJ, which parameter going out to day 6 do you think I should show here? I know that you use the pivotal site.
Right. Well, I mean, I can use this stuff too. So one of the first things I look at is the 500 millibar.
Okay.
Winds. Do you have just a regular wind speed? Well, I guess this will work because it's vorticity too. So if you want to take it out to 6 days, there's that first long wave trough. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at the 500 millibar level. I forget how far up exactly that is within the atmosphere.
About 18 to 20,000 feet.
That's okay. That's what I thought. So this is what's going on way above our heads, because this also dictates what's going to happen at the surface. Now, right there, that is a classic shortwave trough that's going to eject through the central plains there. And that's what, Wednesday the 4th?
Right.
So, you know, what that tells me is that at the upper levels of the atmosphere, you're going to have what we call defluence, which is the winds on the, you know, ejecting side of that trough are going to spread apart. And
Right.
what happens is that allows air from the surface to rise more readily to replace it. You can't just, you know we can't create matter. So air has to rise from the surface. That just tells us, hey, here's an area to look for. The next thing I always look at, surface temperatures and dew points.
All right, let's look at the temps real quick. That's an easy one. Very warm, 60s
very warm.
and 70s.
So you're going to have, surface temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And then moisture is the next thing that you need to, really have severe weather.
The dew points, 2 meter dew points. At that time.
60s, mid 60s, easy.
And you can almost see the setup even of the dry line right there.
There's the dry line right there.
Wow. All right.
So then if you want to go to another one I use, I don't know if Levi has it. It would be under lower dynamics. If he has the 850 and I don't think he has it. I normally use the 850 millibar with the 3 wind barbs that tell me, what's going on out there. Does he have CAPE maps at all under thermos?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Yep. It's more tropical instead of severe weather.
Right. He has SP CAPE and wind crossovers. That's
there it is. Duh.
So he does have it. So then this is another way that we can measure the instability. And Mark, if you want to focus on the regions down there, we can do the southern plains. Perfect. So this tells us there's going to be enough energy in the atmosphere, and see how those wind barbs turn.
Right.
So those are different levels in the atmosphere. That gives us an idea that, yes, those winds are turning, and look at the way that they turn. So left to right is surface to aloft. That counterclockwise turn, man, that's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah. When you're looking for severe weather, of course, I always have to preface it. Not what we want to see. Yeah. We don't
want to see that for people that have to deal with it, but that's what we're looking at when we're trying to forecast a severe weather event. So my apologies. I should probably.
So the CAPE, of course, convectively available potential energy. And when it's SB, is that just surface based?
Surface based.
Right.
So this isn't your mix layer. This just gives us an idea, especially being so far out. We're not even within range of the cams or anything like that. So
surface low up here in northern Oklahoma.
That's a very typical, South Plains setup.
So the white wind barbs are your 10-meter winds. The green is 5,000 feet, and the yellow is up there at 500 millibars, or about 18 to 20,000 feet.
And notice that they're turning counterclockwise. So the winds are backed, is what we would say.
They're not parallel. Yep. So so that'll obviously be a big topic of conversation on Monday's show, because we will be 2 or 3 days closer.
Yeah. And remember, severe weather, it's like baking a cake. You need all of those ingredients to line up perfectly.
Yep. So there you go. So that's what it looks like on the GFS side of things. Now, one of the bullet points for today, big tornado year with a question mark, because again, nobody knows for sure. But you mentioned this yesterday, CJ, that Trey over at Convective Chronicles would be putting out his 2026 tornado season forecast. You looked at it a little bit. It's a lengthy one. What did you glean from it so far?
So what I've gleaned from it is, well, first off, I want to say, if you're not following Trey, if you're a weather weenie, go follow him, please. I guess that'll be our follow Friday.
Perfect. There you go.
Very knowledgeable meteorologist. I think he's affiliated with OU.
Right.
But one of the things I gleaned from it, and what I'm seeing in the chatter, is that because of the way that El Nino is going to set up in the onset timing. Yeah, there you go. Follow Friday. The big thing for me that I took away from it is that we could see a very active tornado season on the southern plains. So this would bring more. This would be better than what was in years past for the Southern Plains, although the year overall could be below average.
Interesting. So sort of one of those like a 2004 type hurricane season where it was very busy, but it was only 6 weeks.
Probably.
And it was kind of concentrated, like if you wanted to have
right.
an analogy.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, I've only gotten a chance to watch some of it, but the general focus, it seems, is going to be on the Southern Plains.
Yep. And so Trey, who runs this, of course, and then you've got John, who I've mentioned before, John Homenuk, and he's done a Substack about it. And again, looks like an early start to the storm chasing season looks increasingly likely, with above normal tornado activity and a greater than normal risk of a significant event.
Yep.
And the reasons why he's got listed right in here, and I'll put a link to it in today's description for you folks to read his work. I don't want to quote steal his thunder because he put the work in. You got to read it yourselves. All right. But it's coming, CJ. The severe weather season is just about upon us.
Absolutely.
And curious as to what our chat's take is on that. So let's jump over to that. What are you guys thinking about the upcoming season of severe weather? Do you live out in Tornado Alley? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Hey, there's Pettis.
Hey,
he's on
thanks,
there.
Man.
Nice.
So glad he's here.
So below average overall is what Trey said. But overall, I guess the year in the Southern Plains, because of the El Nino setting in, it just stands to reason with a more active subtropical jet, because you got to have that southwest flow. That's one thing I've learned over the last few years.
Yep.
As we really started the hail project stuff in 24, the southwest flow.
It's very
over
important.
The top of the southerly flow coming in from the return flow around the Bermuda
need that
High.
AML.
That's what gets you the general turning the deep layer shear. If everything is parallel, you just get thunderstorms.
Right.
But you definitely do need to have that southwest flow, and an El Nino typically helps to set that up from the subtropical jet.
Yes.
Forcing. And I think Eric Webb would be a great guest to have to come on one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we get a chance. So any questions from the audience? So Karen in Alabama, and do USAR in the nation and love Australia. It's very beautiful. So I guess folks talking to each other. I see. Yep. Do you live in Australia? See, it is people talking to each other. I like that.
That's awesome. So I did see Katie Smith had mentioned, so she must live in the general area, and Katie Smith 27 or 27390. Correct me if I'm wrong. She had mentioned that on the BMX radar mark for that gustnado or whatever they're calling it, there wasn't a velocity couplet. So they knew about it. They just didn't warn it because there wasn't a velocity couplet.
Right.
So she must be in that general vicinity, it seems. But I also saw she had noted there was a conversation there a little further back about tornado season. And she had made a comment that I really liked. Not in Alabama, referring to tornado season. It runs November to May. And that
Thanks
is
for the super chat, Pettis.
Yes,
we appreciate that. Very much so.
You know, so somebody asked, needing rain badly in the Jupiter, Florida area. Any hope for decent rain this weekend? So let me look. I didn't look at the East Coast, but it looks like a lot of the rain that's going to be coming is going to be along the I-4 corridor.
Let's pull that up. We'll take a real quick look at the overall rain pattern for Florida. Let me show you how you can do that. This is a really neat tool from the Tidbit site, especially. So we'll jump over here.
Tropical Tidbits is it's free and it's accessible.
So, and I know I'm probably going too fast. Let's just back up. So you go to tropicaltidbits.com, forecast models, and then regions, Southeast US. And we're already jumping into the 12Z. So let's go back to the 6Z. And then right up here, precip and moisture. And you can do the total accumulated precip. That's an easy one. And you just drag the slider. And of course, Jupiter, Florida being down here along the southeast coast region, roughly in this area.
Yep, North Palm Beach County.
Yep. And so you slide this through. So the answer is a little bit of rain, but nothing like no big soakers. Now, the other thing that you can look at, and CJ probably knows what I'm going to say, you can go up to the mesoscale models and you can look at something like the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh model. And you can look at just your regular simulated type radar deal. And it's a simulated 1 kilometer above ground level reflectivity. And that shows you what it might look like. And there you go. That's getting close to Jupiter, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we could see some showers, some brief showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms as this frontal system kind of slides into the peninsula. But man, absolutely, we need rain. That's it. The whole state needs rain, and it will take any drop that we can get.
So, a few showers along the Space Coast down towards Jupiter and vicinity of Vero Beach, that US 1 corridor down there. Maybe, so, and then the other way you can look at it too, and I know we all have our phones, and I keep forgetting my telestrator and its hotkeys screws me up sometimes. We all have our phones, but the crap apps that come with your phones, unless you have a subscription service to something that's more reliable, just the weather.gov, and you can throw in Jupiter, Florida, and you get a nice weather service forecast. 60% today, increasing 70% overnight Saturday. So yeah, I would say Jupiter, you're probably going to see some rain.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to remember that, CJ, and then when we get to the show on Monday, we'll have to ask, did you get the rain?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I saw somebody else here, Captain Cheese Whiz 6025. Here in Iowa, it's been a roller coaster of a winter, I'm sure. In 2024, we had similar conditions and had a rocking season. I think he's referring to the tornado season.
Right.
Where 2025 was less dramatic with more gradual heating and, barely anything. So it's all going to be conditional. That's the big thing that I'm seeing, but there's a lot of signs pointing to that this could be a really, really decent, if you're out there chasing, that is, tornado season out on the plains. And it's something that, the plains, we had a few years there where it seemed like everything was in Dixie Alley.
Right.
And it kind of came back. It was the return of Oklahoma. But I'm hoping personally to get out to Kansas. Kansas is great chase country.
Yeah.
I'm sure the people of Wichita and Topeka are like, please no.
Yeah, but they're used to it. They know, and they're generally aware overall, and that's good. As we get into March, of course, that starts on Sunday, March 1st. Our show coming back Monday the 2nd. We're going to focus more and more on severe weather. And then gradually too, because I know I'm wearing the Hurricane Track shirt. Yeah. Remember where we came from, hurricanetrack.com, starting in 1999. It was my dream all along to be able to eventually expand out from hurricanes to cover, because I'm a weather geek. That's just me. Grew up with the Weather Channel in the 80s, would knock people over to get to the TV for a certain segment, especially the Tropical Update with John Hope. We're all guilty of that. We know, right? And now we are in that place where, through our crowdfunding and my relationship with Fox Weather and all the people that we have met around the country, nor'easters, lake effect snow, the desert southwest monsoon, even been to California for the atmospheric river events in 2023. But severe weather really is a special, in the plains, the Tornado Alley, traditionally, there's a big lure for people to tune in and watch. It's almost a spectator sport. So what we wanted to make sure we always did with that is kind of turn it away from objectifying the weather to bringing it more educational and scientifically based, and which without trying to gatekeep and we are better than somebody else. Always that fine line. Everybody's going to do what everybody's going to do, but our perspective, teach, while we also learn at the same time. And CJ and I have been out there a few times since 2021, 2022. And I'm telling you, as we start talking about this coming week, our plans for severe weather season in the Great Plains this year are going to be pretty substantial.
Yes.
With a more of a focus on, we'll just call it tornado genesis. We'll just leave it at that. Anything else you want to add before we roll things up for today and head into the weekend, CJ?
No, I mean, it's that time of year. Like we said, like I've said a million times, the date, it's just a date on the, it's a human construct. Mother Nature doesn't care. But as we get into severe weather season here, obviously stay aware, especially in the deep South and Tornado Alley, but we could have outbreaks anywhere. We've seen that in years past, and it's a dangerous It's a dangerous problem. But I also don't want to take away from the fact that a lot of that rain that's going to fall, it's all going to be in the Mississippi River, watershed.
Right.
And that's eventually going to make it downriver somewhere. So we could have some serious issues, especially with the snow melt and the windward side of the Appalachians.
Yep.
And, all across the Midwest, we could have some serious flooding problems along the Mississippi River, especially south of its confluence with the Ohio.
And that affects the commodities market and the shipping along the Mississippi. There's a show I like, and Weather Scott probably knows what I'm getting ready to say. Every evening I listen to Kaya Risdahl on Marketplace, and it's my 23 minutes or so to learn about the economy.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job of it. And once in a while they have these different guests that come on. And one of them frequently is a gentleman that owns a shipping company on the Mississippi. And they talk about stuff that I know about when they do that.
Right.
The water levels, the flood issues, and what kind of barge traffic they're able to deal with. And all of that is connected.
Yes,
and that's why we have the title, Talking Weather. There are so many different facets to this, so many different stories to tell. Everything is connected. Everything is related. The weather affects everything we do every single day of our lives, whether we realize it or not.
It's the great equalizer.
Way to say goodbye for today, because that's what we do. We talk weather and we learn and we get ready for when it's time to head out into the field. And then when we do that, we try to bring our A game and do the best that we can and lend something to the social science as well as the actual applied sciences. And at the end of the day, we all come home safe and sound and get to do it again.
Exactly.
That's the whole idea. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, we start our 4th month on Monday.
It's crazy.
And with that, we're going to have a change to the overall logo. I've asked CJ to take it from just saying Talking Weather with Mark Sudduth, because he's arranged his life, a little bit of it anyway, Monday through Friday as best he could, to join me. So it's going to be called Talking Weather with Mark and CJ. So he is officially going to be the co-host, because why not? And it just makes it more interesting, honestly, than listening to me yammer on for an hour. So we'll have a new look to the logo, either between CJ or Tim Melman, who designed it. It's going to say Talking Weather with Mark and CJ. So we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one, guys.
I'm Mark in North Carolina. That's CJ in Florida. We'll see you folks on Monday. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.